Good day, everybody. This clip may seem like very niche topic, but it's not, because currently I am aiming at actually something which should have been done quite a while ago, but it isn't, and it doesn't matter if people were trying to address this problem. It's it does matter that this problem actually exists. Because I'm a blind person, I'm a PhD in psychology, and I'm a QA engineer at the same time. And I have my IT ideas. And anytime I was aiming at designing something myself, an application which I want to do, obviously accessibility is the first thing that I'm thinking about. Because currently, even with my storytelling, content creation modes, and applications and workflows, it's quite not accessible. I would like to do quite a lot more things, which I cannot do currently, because a lots of the workflows in the editing apps, for instance, are not readily accessible. And I don't want to use other people to edit my content because I want to be an editor as well. I want to do my content myself alone. I want to shoot it, edit, and stuff like this. So I'm dealing with that already every day because I'm trying to put out content every day. You cannot see it purely here in YouTube because, well, I decided to develop my YouTube and to have a more meaningful relationship with YouTube quite late. And it's still developing, my workflows, my um, the way that I think of my content, the way that I design my content flows. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm already facing quite a lot of um, disability unfriendly apps and workflows, even in day-to-day basis, which is storytelling about me being a blind person and being an active blind person and a blind storyteller and whatever. So naturally, when I want to design an app which addresses something else, or maybe something that I need in my storytelling journey, accessibility is something that I start to think from the get-go. But when I sit down and actually try to find the actual people who to help me write the actual code, because well, I'm teaching, I'm learning code writing and coding, and obviously I can test already done codes and stuff. um, I'm facing the simple workflow that's that's thriving in the app development communities, in the development communities as at all, which is we are creating some kind of code. We want to put it in something more accessible, and we are letting you test it somewhere very close to the very end. And this is what made me realize that, well, I might want to create my app which teaches entrepreneurship to people with disabilities, with as much disabilities as possible, because this is the thing which let me be uh, the most active and proactive and giving back to society and feeling good about my place in the world. But again, I started facing the same. I'm starting to work with people who are already developing code, who are writing code and stuff like this, and we are testing accessibility somewhere along the ends of the iterations. And it always should be explained in a different way. My results should always be glazed over by a QA who can see, but who can make my notes and my outcomes and my blocks and everything else more intelligible for people who can actually see and who have traditional workflows. And I started realizing that traditional workflows in the IT communities are some of the biggest roadblocks in actual accessibility, in the actual accessibility of everything digital that we're doing, be it in apps that we're designing for, because I'm writing my I started learning different codes around web-based things. So it's HTML. Then I jumped to learning Swift, the language of Apple that Apple uses to create their apps. And well, in Apple's terms, not in HTML and stuff like this. For me, again, it's about my way that I'm experiencing all of that. As someone who is not trained to be an IT guy, um, Swift and creating my apps and my workflows on Swift is the most accessible way of coding and developing code. But yet, still, when I didn't have the time and the money to pay to actual people to write code with me and teach me how to do the different parts of an certain app or certain mainframe, I again face the same thing. Tell us what you want to do, and then you're going to test, and we are going to fix what's needed to be fixed. No, no. Accessibility needs to be built at the core of your um, coding journey. You cannot start doing something and then tag on accessibility things on it, because a lot of people are telling me, and this is why I started with my storytelling journey, with my content creation journey. A lot of people are telling me, native Apple apps are designed so that they are the most accessible and stuff like this, and you can do everything on Apple apps that you. No, you can't. You can't. Listen to me, please. So I realized that my camera stopped, and what I was saying, that when you are doing regular editing in iMovie, which is the app I'm using the most, you can do quite a lot of things, if you can see. If you cannot see, you cannot easily place, writings on your screen wherever you like to. You cannot easily use split screen. You cannot easily replace your background, even if you have a proper green screen behind you. Because you know what? You cannot press the actual things. You cannot move around yourself. You cannot put the background behind yourself, because it's designed like this. Because accessibility was tagged somewhere at the very end of the development of that video editing editor. Because someone at Apple decided that, well, let's first develop this, then we are going to tag on accessibility on that. And don't even let me start talking about the Google slew of apps or the Microsoft slew of apps, which, a lot of people around me are using Google Docs, which makes me nervous, because for people with disabilities, be us on iOS devices or Android devices, a lot of things just appear and disappear in terms of accessibility. We can and cannot do a lot of things in Google Docs, in Google Sheets, just for no reason, just because different updates were pushed out by Google. So Apple were thinking like this, Microsoft were thinking like this, Google was thinking like this, and the Chinese developers are even worse because my experience with TikTok, or for instance the apps of DJI or Insta360, are horrendous as well. You know, all the developers, all the big players, all the small players are saying constantly accessibility should be done at the very end. And the result is that. The result is that you are tagging on um, prices. You are tagging on further prices on your stuff, because if you were a developer that we are deeming a like a actual partner of ours, and not someone who is going to strip us from things which we could do yesterday for no reason, just like Google Docs are doing, we would pay you more, because we would know that whatever a person who can see, we can do it without needing a person who can see. We can do it on our own. You are tagging a price on us. We have to be sure, we have to plan our time and our workloads so that we are constantly around people without disabilities who to help us use your things, because you decided to develop accessibility at the very end of your cycle. It's you who are constantly saying accessibility should be done at the very end. You are doing it for more than 50 years. You didn't change this. I want to change it. And you're telling me that, oh, let's keep doing it like this. We kept doing it enough. We are all seeing what the result of accessibility being done at the very end is. It's a grim one. We have to rely constantly on people without disabilities because you are lazy in doing accessibility, because for you accessibility is something that shouldn't be done. You are required to do accessibility because they are going to make your life miserable if you are not making accessibility. No, dummies. Accessibility puts money and time back in our lives. And laziness, your laziness and your stubbornness, is something that is taking time and money away from us. And it's your fault.